If you're running a standard shopping or performance max campaigns within Google Ads, one of the things that you need to look into is the shopping feed that's connected to your campaigns. In GMC, you can go to data sources and create your primary feed, and there are a few ways you can create the feed. One way is to directly connect your website to GMC. So if, for example, you have a Shopify website, you can directly connect your Shopify to Google Merchant Center, and Google is going to create an automated feed that's going to fetch all the necessary data on your website and creates a dynamic feed for you. As you can see, this is quite bulky. We have different headers and different types of information here, and if you go create this feed manually, especially if you have thousands of products on your website, it's going to be a really time-consuming process. So you want to keep this dynamic and automated. But the downside of keeping it dynamic or automated is you rely on Google to fetch their data directly from your website, and if on your website something isn't reflecting what the user is looking for, especially the titles and the descriptions, if these are not optimized, Google is not probably going to be showing your products to the right users when they're searching for your product on Google. In some cases, if you have a website that is really brand driven in terms of its copy, so if the titles and the descriptions aren't really meaningful in the context of users or what they're searching for. So for example, this website here, the names don't really make sense. Nobody who isn't familiar with water is going to go to Google and type in blooming embers to be able to find this essential oil. That's their product. Or they may type in Royal Empress. They're not going to type in these keywords. These are really brand driven titles, and descriptions are also not really optimized on your site. So if you want to retain that branding, that brand copy on your website, not change it to reflect the shopping feeds requirements, what you can do is you can have that primary dynamic feed created by Google, but then you are going to create another feed that's called supplemental feed to supplement your primary feed. So in the supplemental feed, what you want to do is optimize the few elements that are really important, right? So first, for example, you have the title, description, and maybe the images. You want these titles and descriptions to be as optimized as possible, and they shouldn't be the same titles and the same descriptions you put on your website. And secondly, the titles and descriptions need to follow Google's guidelines as well in terms of their length, character limit, their context, etc. As to what your product represents, what the type is, what the category of the product is, and what its use cases are, etc., etc. So you need to put all that information in the title or in the description part of the feed, right? And it's not going to be possible if you are connecting a dynamic feed to your merchant center and the titles and descriptions are being directly fetched from your website, but those aren't really optimized, or they aren't really reflecting the search queries that users will be typing in when they look for a product that you offer on your website. So the way to create a supplemental feed is very simple. So first thing you need to do is go to the add-ons. Under settings, there's this add-ons option, and you need to go to your add-ons, discover add-ons. If you haven't activated this advanced data management option, data source management option, it's going to be shown somewhere here under the discovery tab. You have to add that as your add-on. Once you add that, it's going to be shown somewhere here and it's activated. Once you activate the advanced data source management add-on, you're going to be seeing this supplemental feed option under your data sources, right? So here these are the primary sources dynamically being fetched from your website. Since this particular website caters to different regions, so they have different feeds, right? So for example, we are interested to create a supplemental feed for the US market. So this one, if I go to the supplemental source now, in your case it will be blank, so you have to click on add supplemental feed. You can either just copy the title, description, and the ID elements and create a new sheet and paste that information there. You can simply export your current products from Google Merchant Center. So if you go to products and select your data source, in this case it's going to be US, and down here there's this option to download the product, right? Once you download it, you're going to be seeing this file here, right? So in our case, we are interested to only optimize the titles, the descriptions, right? So definitely I will keep the ID, I will keep the titles, and I will keep the description, and maybe the URLs as well, just so that I want to manually make sure that the products that I'm optimizing are the correct ones. I mean, this is just for your reference. So if it will look something like this, you pick that information and you will have the unoptimized titles and unoptimized descriptions, right? Picked from your downloaded file. And now what you can do is you can just start optimizing these titles, maybe taking help from Cloud AI or ChatGPT, or doing it manually on your own, right? So once you have the sheet available, what you can do is you can simply connect to your file, right? So you can click on, let's say, use Google Sheet, and you can either paste the information using this template, or you can just connect to your sheet. In my case, the Gmail is already maybe connected. If not, you can just connect it, and you should be able to see the feed that you just created. You can insert it and you can press continue, and in here you just have to choose the primary feed source. So in this case it's gonna be this one, the US, right? I'm gonna save this. Feed label is US in my case, and the language is gonna be English. And here you have to, when you select these two options, you selected the feed label, you selected the language. Now it's gonna be providing you the right suggestions. So in here we have this one, the automated one, but this is the right primary feed that we want to create the supplemental feed on top of. Once you select that, you can just click on create data source and it should be created, right? In my case, I'm not going to recreate this. Once you create the supplemental feed, it's going to be shown somewhere here, mapped to your primary feed, as you can see, right? Used in Shopify, this is the primary feed and this is supplemental feed. So now, since you have created the supplemental feed, Google is going to be using these titles and descriptions instead of these ones, which aren't really optimized for Google Shopping and Performance Max campaign. I hope this video is helpful. If you have certain topics you want me to cover in future videos, feel free to put your comments in the comment section. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye.